Starlight on Gossamer Wings, a soothing and enchanting sleep story designed to lull you into a peaceful slumber. If you enjoy this content and would like to see more like it, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Before we journey to the Whispering Meadows, we'll begin with a gentle breathing guidance to help you relax and prepare for the enchanting tale ahead. If you prefer to skip directly to the story and meet the Lumina who hold the secrets of Starlight, you can find the timestamps for each chapter in the description below. Take a moment to settle into a comfortable position, feeling the weight of your body melting into the surface beneath you. Adjust your blankets or pillow to create a nest of soft comfort around you. Allow your muscles to relax, softening your brow, unclenching your jaw, and letting your shoulders drop. Imagine the gentle touch of the Lumina's gossamer wings brushing against your skin, bringing a sense of ease and tranquility to your entire being. This is your time to release the worries of the day and prepare for a night filled with peaceful dreams. Now, let's take a deep, soothing breath together. Slowly inhale through your nose, imagining you are drawing in the scent of jasmine and honeysuckle from the Whispering Meadows. Feel the air fill your lungs, expanding your chest with a sense of calm. Then, exhale slowly and gently through your mouth, releasing any tension or stress you may be holding on to. Imagine the starlight dissolving within you, spreading a warm, comforting glow throughout your body. Visualize the Lumina dancing in the moonlight, their movements graceful and serene, their light beckoning you towards serenity. If your mind begins to wander, that's perfectly alright. Simply acknowledge the thought and gently guide your attention back to your breathing or the sound of my voice. There's no need to judge yourself or try to force your mind to be quiet. Just allow yourself to drift along with the rhythm of your breath, like a leaf floating down the moonpetal pond. Feel the gentle weight of your eyelids, drawing you closer to a state of restful sleep. Allow the enchanting taste of starlight to lead you into the Whispering Meadows and a night of peaceful slumber. Chapter 1. Moonlit Arrival. Maeve arrived at the edge of the Whispering Meadows as the moon, a plump, pearly orb, began its ascent. The journey had been long, a wearying trudge from the bustling city, but as she stepped beyond the ancient stone gate, a sense of calm settled over her like a soft, downy blanket. The air, thick with the promise of dew and the subtle fragrance of night-blooming jasmine, felt instantly lighter, cleaner than any she had breathed in weeks. The weight of grief, which had clung to her like a stubborn shadow, seemed to lessen with each step. The meadows stretched before her, an expanse of silver and shadow bathed in the moon's gentle glow. It was a landscape whispered about in hushed tones in the city's art circles, a place said to hold secrets of inspiration and healing. The silver grass, finer and softer than any earthly blade, swayed in the gentle breeze, its movement creating a soft, rustling whisper that filled the air with a hushed melody. Maeve paused, closing her eyes, allowing the sound to wash over her, a gentle lullaby promising peace and quiet. She began to walk, her steps slow and deliberate, each footfall sinking softly sensation that grounded her in the present moment, pulling her away from the swirling thoughts that often plagued her mind. She noticed a small, winding path, barely discernible amidst the silver grass, and followed it deeper into the meadows. The path seemed to guide her effortlessly, leading her towards a destination unknown, but somehow familiar. As she walked, the scent of honeysuckle grew stronger, mingled with the earthy aroma of damp moss and the sweet, almost citrusy fragrance of moon petals. She passed towering trees, their ancient branches reaching towards the sky like gnarled fingers, their leaves shimmering silver in the moonlight. These were not the stark, imposing trees of a dense forest, but rather gentle guardians of the meadows, their presence comforting and protective. She came at last to a clearing, bathed in the silvery light of the full moon. In the centre lay the moonpetal pond, its surface as smooth and reflective as a polished mirror. The pond's surface rippled gently, as if the moon itself were breathing. It reflected the sky above, a breathtaking vista of stars and swirling nebulae, creating the illusion of floating among the cosmos. Beside the pond grew a cluster of moonpetal flowers, their delicate white petals unfurling slowly, releasing their sweet fragrance into the night air. Maeve knelt beside them, gently touching one of the petals with her fingertip. It felt soft and cool, like the finest silk, and released a tiny puff of shimmering dust, which sparkled in the moonlight like captured stars. Sighing contentedly, Maeve retrieved her sketchbook from her satchel, its leather cover worn soft with age. She opened it to a fresh page, feeling the familiar texture of the paper beneath her hand. The charcoal pencils felt cool and smooth as she chose one from the set. For the first time in months, she felt a flicker of inspiration, a gentle spark of creativity igniting within her. She began to sketch, letting her hand move freely across the page, capturing the ethereal beauty of the moonpetal pond and the surrounding landscape. The gentle scratching of the charcoal was the only sound, a quiet counterpoint to the rustling of the silver grass and the soft murmur of the pond. As she drew, she felt the tension in her shoulders begin to ease, her breath becoming slower and deeper. She was home, she realised, not in a physical sense, but in a way that resonated deep within her soul. She had come to the right place. Chapter 2. Luminous Dance. As Maeve sketched, completely lost in the gentle rhythm of her charcoal against paper, a new sound reached her ears, a sound so delicate and ethereal that it seemed to originate not from the world around her, but from within. It was a soft, crystalline chime, like tiny bells ringing in the distance, each note clear and pure and filled with a soothing resonance. She paused her drawing, her hand hovering over the page, and listened intently, her heart filled with a quiet wonder. The chime grew louder, closer, accompanied by a faint, shimmering light that danced at the periphery of her vision. She looked up from her sketch, her gaze drawn towards the source of the music, and gasped softly in amazement. Floating above the moonpetal pond, bathed in the silvery light, were beings unlike any she had ever imagined, creatures of pure light and grace, the Lumina. Their bodies were formed of shimmering stardust, their forms shifting and swirling like wisps of smoke caught in the moonlight. Each Lumina possessed wings of gossamer light, so thin and delicate that they seemed to be made of moonbeams themselves. As they moved, their wings created the crystalline chime, each flutter a tiny note in a celestial symphony. The Lumina danced above the pond, their movements graceful and fluid, as if they were waltzing with the very air. They moved in perfect synchronicity, their bodies weaving patterns of light and shadow across the surface of the water, creating a mesmerizing spectacle. The water itself seemed to respond to their presence, shimmering with an iridescent glow that reflected the luminous light back towards the heavens. Maeve watched in silent awe, her sketchbook forgotten in her lap, her mind filled with a sense of peace and wonder. She had heard tales of the Lumina, of their ethereal beauty and their connection to the stars, but she had always dismissed them as fanciful myths. Now, seeing them with her own eyes, she felt a profound sense of connection to something larger than herself, to the magic that lay hidden within the Whispering Meadows. As the Lumina danced, she noticed that they were collecting something, gathering tiny droplets of starlight that had fallen from the sky and settled upon the surface of the moonpetal pond. With delicate movements, they scooped up the starlight with vials made of crystal, the liquid light shimmering within them like captured constellations. The vials glowed faintly, radiating a gentle warmth that seemed to emanate outwards, filling the clearing with a sense of peace and serenity. One of the Lumina, slightly smaller and brighter than the others, detached itself from the group and floated towards Maeve. It approached her slowly, its movements deliberate and gentle, as if it were approaching a sleeping fawn. Maeve held her breath, her heart beating softly in her chest, her eyes fixed on the Lumina's radiant form. The Lumina paused before her, its stardust body swirling and shifting, its form solidifying into a more defined shape. It held out one of the crystal vials towards Maeve, the starlight within glowing with an inviting warmth. The Lumina's eyes, 2 points of pure light, seemed to gaze directly into Maeve's soul, offering comfort and understanding. The creature held the vial out to Maeve. There was no demand, only an offer. Maeve hesitated for a moment, then reached out her hand, her fingers trembling slightly. She took the vial from the Lumina, feeling the cool, smooth glass against her skin. The starlight within seemed to pulse with a gentle energy, radiating a sense of peace and tranquility. She looked at the Lumina, her eyes filled with gratitude, and knew, without a word being spoken, that she was meant to taste the starlight. Chapter 3. A Taste of Starlight. Holding the vial of starlight, Maeve gazed at the Lumina, a silent question in her eyes. The Lumina responded with a gentle nod, its luminous eyes sparkling with encouragement. With a deep breath, Maeve tilted the vial, its cool glass a comforting weight in her palm. She watched as a single shimmering drop of starlight spilled forth, clinging to the rim before detaching and floating slowly towards her lips. Hesitantly, she opened her mouth and allowed the starlight to touch her tongue. The sensation was unlike anything she had ever experienced. It wasn't a taste in the conventional sense, but rather a feeling of pure, unadulterated joy. It felt like a burst of warmth, spreading through her, chasing away the chill of the night and filling her with a sense of profound peace. The tiny drops seemed to contain the essence of every beautiful thing she had ever known. The warmth of the sun on her skin, the scent of rain on dry earth, the sound of laughter shared with loved ones. As the starlight dissolved on her tongue, a cascade of images flooded her mind, visions of tranquil landscapes and forgotten wonders. She saw rolling hills bathed in golden sunlight, cascading waterfalls, tumbling into crystal clear pools, and ancient forests teeming with vibrant life. Each image was suffused with a sense of peace and serenity, a reminder of the beauty and wonder that existed in the world, even in the face of sorrow. She saw fields of lavender swaying gently in the breeze, their purple blossoms releasing their soothing fragrance into the air. She felt the soft caress of the wind on her skin, carrying the scent of wildflowers and damp earth. She heard the gentle murmur of a stream, its waters flowing over smooth stones, creating a melody that calmed her troubled spirit. A warmth spread through her chest as if some ancient sorrow was being gently melted away. These were not mere visions, but rather fragments of memories, glimpses into the heart of the Whispering Meadows, and perhaps into her own soul. She saw images of long-forgotten artists, their hands creating masterpieces inspired by the beauty of the natural world. She felt their passion, their dedication, their unwavering belief in the power of art to heal and transform. The starlight was a balm for her weary soul, gently soothing the raw edges of her grief and rekindling the flame of her creativity. The visions began to fade slowly, the intensity of the colours softening, the sounds diminishing into a gentle hum. As the effects of the starlight subsided, Maeve felt a sense of profound gratitude, a feeling of being cleansed and renewed. The weight on her chest lifted, replaced by a lightness she had not felt in months. A sense of calm settled over her, deep and profound. The Lumina watched her patiently, its eyes filled with compassion. It extended its hand towards her, offering a silent gesture of support. Maeve reached out and took its hand, feeling the cool, ethereal energy flowing between them. The connection was brief but powerful, a reminder that she was not alone in her journey, that there were forces in the world that cared for her, that wanted her to heal and find peace. With a gentle smile, the Lumina released her hand and floated back towards the moonpetal pond, joining the others in their silent dance. Maeve watched them for a moment longer, her heart filled with a quiet joy, and then closed her eyes, savouring the lingering taste of starlight and the memory of the visions it had brought. As the moon continued its ascent, bathing the Whispering Meadows in its silvery light, Maeve knew that she had found a place where she could truly heal and rediscover her lost creativity. She felt, for the first time in a long time, a sense of hope. Chapter 4. Forgotten Wonders. As the last whispers of the starlight faded, Maeve felt an undeniable pull. A gentle tug leading her deeper into the Whispering Meadows. It wasn't a forceful command, but a soft invitation, a whisper carried on the night breeze. Trusting her instincts and the lingering warmth within her chest, she rose to her feet, her bare toes sinking into the cool earth. She left her sketchbook and pencils resting gently against a smooth, moss-covered stone, confident they would be safe and undisturbed. The pool led her away from the moonpetal pond, down a narrow path barely wider than her shoulders. The silver grass brushed against her legs, its touch light and feathery, guiding her forward. The air grew thick with the scent of pine needles and damp earth, a fragrance both familiar and comforting. The moonlight dappled through the leaves of the towering trees, creating intricate patterns of light and shadow that danced across the path before her. As she walked, she began to notice small details she had missed before. Tiny glowing mushrooms nestled at the base of trees, their caps shimmering with an ethereal light. Delicate star-shaped flowers blooming in hidden crevices, their petals radiating a soft, inviting glow, and the intricate patterns woven by spiders, their webs glistening with dew, transformed into jeweled tapestries by the moonlight. Each discovery filled her with a sense of wonder and appreciation for the subtle beauty of the natural world. The path began to wind upwards, leading her to higher ground. The air grew cooler, and the scent of pine became more intense. She could hear the distant murmur of a waterfall, its gentle roar a soothing counterpoint to the rustling of the leaves. As she climbed, she felt her muscles working, her breath becoming slightly heavier, but there was no strain, no discomfort, only a feeling of gentle exertion and a growing sense of anticipation. Finally, she reached the top of the rise, and the path opened into a hidden grove. The grove was unlike anything she had ever seen, a sanctuary of ancient trees, their branches intertwined to form a natural cathedral. The air within the grove was still and quiet, filled with a sense of peace that was almost palpable. The moonlight streamed through the canopy above, illuminating the grove with a soft, ethereal glow. In the centre of the grove stood a circle of weathered stones, each etched with intricate carvings that seemed to pulse with a faint inner light. The stones radiated a warmth that she could feel even from a distance, beckoning her closer. As she approached the circle, she noticed small, smooth stones scattered around the base of each standing stone, each polished to a lustrous sheen. She stepped into the circle, feeling the warmth of the stones envelop her. The air within the circle seemed to shimmer and vibrate, filled with an energy that resonated deep within her soul. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath, allowing the energy of the grove to flow through her, cleansing her mind and soothing her spirit. She imagined each stone releasing its stories, its echoes of creativity, its whispers of inspiration. As she stood there, bathed in the warmth and light, she saw visions of the artists who had come to this grove before her, seeking solace and inspiration. She saw their hands moving across canvases, carving into stone, shaping clay, transforming their visions into tangible forms. She felt their passion, their dedication, their unwavering belief in the power of art to heal and transform. A renewed sense of purpose welled within her. The visions faded, leaving her with a profound sense of connection to these forgotten artists. She felt as if she were part of a lineage, a continuous thread stretching back through time, connecting her to all those who had sought to capture the beauty and wonder of the world through their art. In that moment, standing in the heart of the hidden grove, Maeve knew that she was not alone. The meadows and the artists before waited to share their strength. what felt like only a few moments, though she knew it must have been longer, Maeve opened her eyes within the circle of stones. The grove was still bathed in moonlight, the air still thick with the scent of pine and earth, but a subtle shift had occurred. The stars seemed to shimmer more brightly, the leaves rustled with a new-found energy, and she felt a deep sense of peace settling within her, a quiet acceptance of her grief, and a renewed commitment to her art. She traced the carvings on one of the stones with her fingertips, feeling the smooth, worn surface beneath her touch. Each carving seemed to tell a story, a silent testament to the creativity and passion of those who had come before her. She realized that the grove was not just a place of beauty and tranquility, but also a repository of memories, a living library of inspiration waiting to be discovered. A gentle breeze rustled through the trees, carrying with it the scent of moon petals and the distant chime of the luminous wings. She knew that the starlight's effect was fleeting, that the visions and the heightened senses would eventually fade. But she also knew that the impact of her experience would last, that the memories of the Whispering Meadows and the forgotten artists would stay with her, fueling her creativity and guiding her on her journey. Leaving the stone circle, she paused to select a small, smooth stone from the scattering at its base. It felt cool and comforting in her hand, a tangible reminder of the energy and inspiration she had found in the grove. She tucked the stone carefully into her pocket, a small treasure to carry with her back to the city. Making her way back down the winding path, she felt a sense of lightness she hadn't experienced in months. The grief was still there, a dull ache in her heart, but it no longer consumed her, no longer weighed her down with its oppressive weight. She understood that healing was a process, not a destination, and that even fleeting moments of peace could bring lasting change. The path before seemed easier to walk. Reaching the clearing where she had left her sketchbook, she found it exactly as she had left it, bathed in the silvery light of the moon. The pages were filled with her drawings, sketches of the moonpetal pond, the Lumina, and the towering trees of the Whispering Meadows. Each drawing was a testament to her renewed creativity, a reflection of the beauty and wonder she had found in this magical place. Gathering her belongings, she took one last look at the moonpetal pond, its surface shimmering like a pool of liquid starlight. The Lumina were gone, their dance complete, but their presence lingered in the air, a reminder of the gentle magic that permeated the meadows. She smiled, her heart filled with gratitude for the opportunity to experience such beauty and tranquility. As she turned and began to walk back towards the stone gate, leaving the Whispering Meadows behind, Maeve knew that she would carry the memory of this night with her always. The taste of starlight, the chime of the luminous wings, the warmth of the hidden grove. These were not just fleeting sensations, but seeds of hope planted in her heart, waiting to blossom into new creations and a renewed sense of purpose. The fleeting peace she'd found would take root and